late getting my food plots in, so I'm going to work on that today. Beautiful day out here. Hopefully I can get that knocked out. But let's check on the cows. So we have this piece of OSB up here just to give them a little shade. You can see as the sun gets higher in the sky, they'll get more and more shade. Beautiful day. But soon we'll have this fenced in and we won't have to worry about that anymore. They'll have plenty of trees for shade and 2 acres to roam around. But actually they only use a small portion of the pen that they're in. They have nice stalls, but we like them to be outside all day. And they sit there and chew their cud most of the day. 2 times a day after morning feeding, we'll come out and let them run free. But they're getting more and more adventurous. They actually went all the way to our fence line, which is way on the other side of the trees. Went all the way around half the property and stayed just far enough in front of us that we couldn't catch them. So normally with my food plots, I don't do any kind of pre-tilling. What I do is spread the seed on the ground, then till it in. And I get lots of comments of, oh, that seed will never come up. It's just 100% not true. We have great germination rates, and it saves a step of pre-tilling. But today I've got a little section that I plowed with the Summit tractor, and the Summit tractor made a great showing pulling a 2-bottom plow. We'll link the video either up here or down below and you can see it, but we were totally impressed by it pulling that plow. But I didn't plow the whole plot, just a little bit of it for a demonstration, so now I have to smooth that out. Don't need that extra weight on the front of the tractor. So what we'll be tilling with is a 6-foot tiller from Tarter. Tarter's been a great sponsor of the channel. And I spent the whole morning putting this together, putting oil in it, greasing it. And I've got it attached to the tractor with a quick hitch, which has weight on it. So there is a lot of weight back here, but I didn't feel like taking those weight plates off. Now I've run a tiller with this tractor, and this is our Kubota 39 horsepower tractor. I've run a tiller with this acres and acres. Let's say 40 acres I've done with the tiller, but it was a 5-foot tiller. We have a King Cutter gear-driven 5-foot tiller. I've never used a 6-foot tiller behind this tractor, but I asked Tarter for a 6-foot tiller because the 5-foot tiller never really slowed the tractor down, and I plan on getting a bigger tractor with more horsepower. So I'm trying to future-proof some of our equipment out here, and I think this is going to be a good test of this plowed ground because it's fairly loose and it won't be a big drain on my horsepower resources here. So I'm going to go down here and kind of till this soil up, do some of this soil here that's not been plowed, do the plowed section, kind of get it smoothed out before I plant because I still have the deep furrows here. But honestly, I have no idea what to expect from this. A big test of a drain of PTO is if you can start a piece of equipment when it's idling. Yeah, that was no problem. Let's see what she'll do. Alright, real quick update after one pass. Now it's not gonna fill in this furrow. That has nothing to do with the tiller. That's a 10-inch deep furrow. I'm trying to take some of the dirt from the untilled side and the dirt from the plowed side and kind of fill that in. But it's perfectly fine in this field to have a little divot there because the water runs that way and that divot will hold the water. I did a good job tilling. I'm walking on it. It's nice and soft and tilled up down here. I've got it set to its deepest setting, and this ground hasn't been worked for, last time it was worked was probably April or May, and here we are in November. That's a double till, so obviously, you know, I went back and forth, so that's real smooth. I'll double till this as well, so I probably got 3 more passes, but that's an impressive path. 6 foot wide is really going to make quick work of this 1 acre plot. But for right now, I'm just gonna do this area here and get it smooth. I've got the tiller off the tractor and I've put on another implement I'm going to show you here in a minute. But there's something about this Tarter tiller that I've never seen before on a tiller. I'm always worried about vines and grass getting wrapped around this end bearing. There's a bearing inside of there, and if you get grass in there, it'll try and go inside and cut the bearing seal, which is back behind there. But this tiller has a little cutter blade right here that rides just outside of that hub and helps keep that clean. Now I still did get a little wrapping. You see a little vine that's in here that's actually in a bad place because it got in there where that seal is. And if that spins around there too much, that will mess up your seal and it'll start leaking. But I've never seen that before on a tiller. It's welded on. You can't take it off. The only thing I would say is that it should be closer to that hub so that you don't get as much wrapping as I'm going to show you on the other side. So here on the other side, you'll see this one vine did get wrapped around, so those cutters didn't prevent that. It actually got behind the cutter. So that's pretty clean if you take into consideration the environment I just put it through. I also got a nice little stump caught in there that I've been trying to pry out. I think I've almost got it. But it's been tilling for a while with that in there. That's got a lot of sap on it. Must be a pine stump. Oh, there we go. So I picked that up when I was working along the edge of the woods, and you can maybe see where the sap is concentrated there. They call this fat lighter because it's a stump of a pine and the sap concentrates and it's almost like it's brittle. And this is called fire starter around here. They actually sell it on Facebook Marketplace. They'll chip this up into little pieces and sell it for like $10 a bundle. I just finished mixing my super secret blend that you can only get at Piney Grove. Just kidding. Very simple blend of rye, oats, wheat, and this year I'm using daikon radishes. A lot of times I will do clover after I planted this. I'll put clover on top and cold pack it in. The daikon radishes are a nutrient scavenger, so they'll actually go down into the hard pan or as deep as they can go, scavenge up those nutrients, bring them up to the top where their green tops are, and either get eaten by the deer or they'll be there available when you plant whatever you're going to plant in the summer. So the plot back there is 1 acre, and I got 150 pounds of seed, which is a bit of overkill, but I'd rather have more seed than not enough, right? I'd rather have a thicker coverage back there because anything that the herd doesn't eat is just going to get dished back in the summertime and just enrich the soil even more. So this is what I'm going to be using to plant with. It's called a Power Harrow. And what it has is it has vertical tines here in the front. It's got like 6 sets of them on spindles, and they turn like this as opposed to a rototiller that turns horizontally, I guess. These are vertical. So that tills up the ground, and then this planter drops seed right behind the tiller, and then this packer back here, wire mesh packer, packs it in. This works great. I used it on the same field this spring for iron clay peas. I had a great stand of peas. The seeds were spaced correctly and evenly across the field. But what I'm planting now is a lot smaller seed, and I want to be very precise where I put it as far as the edges, and there also may be some areas where I want to put it down thicker and other areas where I want to put down less seed. And in addition, I've got the ATV, already has a spreader on it, and I don't use this thing very much. I absolutely love it. I've had it for a bunch of years, 15, 16 years, but it doesn't get used as much because we have a side-by-side and we have a couple tractors, and it just needs to be used. Engines were not made to sit in a garage for years and not get used. The gas gets stale in it. Everything needs to remain lubricated. The seals need to remain lubricated. So I need to use it so it stays in good top running condition. I've been thinking about selling it because I don't need another thing to maintain, change the oil, put batteries in, things like that. But at the same time, I've had it so long, I almost can't bear to part with it. So the first thing I'm going to do is put a ring of seed around the edges. So I'm going to go all the way around the edge. It throws it about 10 feet to each side, so I'll just watch where the seeds are hitting there, kind of follow that road edge and then follow the woods edge. I've gone all the way around the plot, and then I've done 3 passes here, and I've used about 3/4 of the seed I have, and I probably have 1.5 more fill up. So that tells me I have to drive a little bit faster because I'm putting out a little bit more seed than I need to, or than I should. Because I've actually tilled in between the pines here. I didn't show you that earlier in the video, but I like to take advantage of as much, soil, dirt, acreage, or whatever that we have out here and plot everything. So last year I got in there and cleaned all that up and tilled it and put the iron clay peas in there, and they grew. There might be iron clay pea 20 feet up that pine tree. But I was doing this off camera with the tiller earlier in the video, and I need to go through there and spread some seed. All right, I'm gonna put you on time lapse, put out the rest of the seed. Everything's all seeded. The sun's about to set, so it's time to get tilling. Isn't that amazing what this thing can do? It tilled it up and it flattened it out. Perfectly packed seed bed. Before the sun fades too much, I want to show you the absolute clinic that the Power Harrow is putting on when it comes to food plotting. And it should be self-explanatory why I switched over to the Power Harrow from the tiller. Now, I've been doing food plots for about 18 years. I've used everything from a disc harrow to a tiller. I've plowed first, and last year, Tractor Tools Direct sent us that Power Harrow, and I didn't even know what it was. And I used it and learned how to use it, and I don't want anything else when it comes to food plotting. Just like any piece of equipment, it has limitations. It does not do deep tillage, and it prefers the soil to be either pre-tilled or a little bit loose. If you're going to pull it, those vertical tines sideways or forward through heavy clay, it's going to be hard going, but they've gotten a lot of feedback that people have done that even in rocky soil, and they haven't broken any tines off. I haven't broken any tines off. I don't know if they will. I'm just sharing with you some information, because if you look behind me, this is what that did to this completely overgrown, full of roots and just general debris. I came through here with the tiller earlier in the video. It was very rough. It looked awful, and there's no way, you know, after a tiller's gone through it, to make it any smoother. But look what this Power Harrow did. I mean, it's perfection. I don't even know if the camera's picking it up. I'm looking through the viewfinder here, and it looks pretty good to me, but it's perfectly flat, perfectly prepared seed bed. All that had seed thrown on top of it with the ATV, and then I just came along with the Power Harrow. It's hard for me to say that. I even backed up into that little area, did this, and this is starting to look really groomed. It used to look like that just last year, and then I got in here with the brush hog and the mini mulcher and mulched it up. There's still some stuff I have to clear up. So what do you think? I'm blown away by this thing. It's why I switched over to it. Over here it has just been mowed with the flail mower. You see the line where it's been tilled, but it's still left that thatch on top. So as those tilling tines go through, they go down. They don't go down as far as a tiller, the other tiller had on earlier, because that's not what they're designed to do. They just do this top couple of inches, and over here is not tilled at all. And then that thatch just gets all thrown over top of the seed, pressed down with that packing wheel, and that's all you need. That'll be absolutely, you know, perfect here in about 7 days when it pops up. But that'll wrap it up. So until next time, y'all take care out there. And if you're interested in any more food plotting videos, I have a whole playlist. There's probably 20 food plot videos in that playlist. So I'll put the link down below, or you could check out one of these two videos right here. They're pretty cool too. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care.